to Walker Tea Review. Welcome if you are a tea blogger, a tea retailer, a tea tweeter. I recently was able to meet a couple of fellow tea bloggers slash tweeters slash online tea people. Shout out goes to Chris Giddings, who else? Michael Coffey, Gong Fu Girl, Griffin Kelton and his brother. I'm probably leaving someone out, and I hate that. Verna Hamilton. Let's see, several of you out there. Hello, and glad you can join us. And Nav, I don't want to forget Nav. But if you are not a tea blogger, a tea retailer, I especially want to hear from you, because I was talking to some tea retailers, and I'm not going to name any names here, but the attitude was, what does it matter? Tea bloggers only follow tea bloggers. No one else is learning or finding out information from tea blogs. And so we need to hear from you. We need to show all those tea retailers out there that this is a valuable service, that this is something that you've come to appreciate, something that you may even come to depend on for helping you choose teas. We especially need to hear from you so that we can go to those tea retailers. We as tea bloggers can go to tea retailers and say, no, look, this is a real audience. These are people who are coming and wanting this information and appreciate it and are looking for more of it so that we can bring that to you. We have a tea today we're hoping to bring to you and share together, of course. And this is from Adagio. This is their AnhuiKeemun that we're going to be talking about here. I'm going to go ahead and get it ready. Let me set this out of the way just for a moment, because we are going to be using the picture there, but not just yet. Okay, let's go ahead and get this one started, because our water's been brought to a boil. It's cooling. This is a black tea, so we do want to use a little bit higher temperature. I'm going to be careful. This is pretty full little tin here, and I want to do about a, that's about a, if you patted that out, that would be a level teaspoon. That's good. I like mine a little stronger, so there's just a pinch more, maybe a third of a teaspoon more that I just added then. Now our water, I'm going to go ahead and slowly put this in so it's not sloshing around everywhere, and it's swirling around and really coating those leaves. So that looks good. You know what, I need just a pinch more, because yes, I want enough to kind of sit over the edge of the lid here, and that should work nicely. Yes. Okay, carefully put that on there. Slide over so that that can steep for a few minutes as we talk about this tea. As I said, from Adagio, a black tea. The Anhui province is the home, the origin of Keemun. A sample size like this is available for $9. This, by the way, is part of their master's collection. Adagio is kind of seeking to grow with its tea base. A lot of people come to Adagio for their introductions to tea, and what they're finding is people are saying, I want to go on to the next level of quality, and the Master's Collection, which is part of the new addition to Adagio, helps people graduate to that next stage of teas and tea quality. This one in particular is a handmade, it's labeled as or described as a handmade tea on Adagio's product page. It is from a superior Malfung grade. A lot of your Keemuns, they'll be graded as a Malfung style. Malfung teas are also from Anhui province, so that style of tea, that grade of tea that's usually for a green, is then used in the black to make a black tea, or the Hao Ya, which is like a, if I remember right, a tippy, roughly translated something like a tippy, buddy, sprout. Another one of the higher quality or higher grades descriptors there used for Keemun. Okay, talking about this tea in its dry leaf format, because when you evaluate or look at teas, you get some clues from the dry leaf the wet leaf, and of course the liquor. There's some kind of, there's a sweetness. To me, it almost borders on cherry, natural, real fresh red cherry. There's that element to it. But there's also this kind of medicinal aspect, and I can't put my finger on it, but if you've ever gone into an apothecary, some kind of Chinese medicine store, there's an association there. I can't point my finger and say it's this particular herb, but it's there. There's also a light smoked bacon element. So if you can put cherry, smoked bacon, a little bit of Chinese medicine in there, that's what's coming off of this. So it feels full, it feels rich in that respect, and that's what we have. These have been chopped, or you're seeing, what you are seeing here is portions of leaves. They are a dark chocolate type of color. So they're moving a little bit towards that kind of grayish brown, that kind of bister type color. At the same time, you are getting some little bits of golden color, which would indicates, at least at this glance, that this is a little bit of those very fine tips that often display a little bit of a golden type color. The tips are quite small, and so you're not going to be able to really, or it's going to be difficult to dig out a particular one and say this one is fuzzy, or really comment on more about tips. Okay, so, but characteristic colors, aromas coming off of this particular keemun. Let's move on, because this is a black tea and we've had plenty of warm water on it. It's been steeping quite well, so we're ready for a pour here. Okay, let me set this aside because we do now want to use our pitcher and angle our lid a little bit. Get ready for the pour. Last few drops are the most potent, and that's why you want to have something like a pitcher of this kind if you're going to pour more than 1 cup, especially if you're going to pour more than 1 cup, because it's harder to distribute across 2 cups so that it's got even color and aroma and texture, really. Those last few drops shaking out. There we go. I'm going to set this aside just a moment as we talk a little bit about this wet leaf. Again, some of that smoky bacon aspect coming out. A little bit of the Chinese medicine notes. So it does have this sweet, kind of woody sweetness, herby, twiggy type sweetness coming off. Again, warm, rich, savory type notes from that kind of bacon aspect. And you got to be careful, because when you stick your nose in a cup like this, you're liable to end up with little pieces of tea stuck to your nose, to your mouth, to your chin. And that's what I'm feeling on there, but fortunately I'm clean for now. Before I'm putting this away too soon, because I do want to look a little bit at these leaves, because they have been cut or chopped a little bit. They're finer pieces. You're not going to be able to pull out a whole leaf. They've lightened up to more of a milk chocolate type, reddish, a little bit more of a reddish brown on them as well. Okay, they are all kind of rolled as well, as if they've been rolled between 2 fingers like that, kind of so that they're along the length of the main middle vein of the leaf. Okay, and I'm going to leave it at that, because they're fairly typical in length and size. Color really doesn't say anything extraordinary. It's typical. It's on par. It's on track. So that's that. Now our liquor here, rich, deep rich colors here. Okay, so we've got a bit of a. It does have a reddish tinge to it, even favoring over slightly towards a deep, almost a purple aspect. Okay, and that's when you hold it right up into a light there. But it does give beyond your typical, Indian, Sri Lankan black tea type in a tea bag color. Richer than that. Give it a pour, smell a little bit. Smoky, again, a little bit of a smoky bacon type notes coming out of that. Okay, let's give this one a taste as well. A few months back, I had someone who was, I get the indication it was not a tea blogger, going back to that topic for a minute. Not a tea blogger, someone new to tea, or newer to a tea, especially a Keemun tea like this, who said, I have a Keemun that smells like burning tires. Is that normal? And I never put it in that sense, and I'd say no, it's not normal, and I would not put this in this classification, but there is a smoky, like I mentioned, a smoky bacon, light smoky bacon type aspect to this tea. It has a herby, rooty Chinese medicine. Again, can't put in a particular herb or medicinal quality on it. I can just say that a lot of those medicines get combined with several herbs and root pieces and sometimes even scorpions and things like that. It does have that kind of note to it. So is that what you should look for? You should look for something like that. Should it be overpowering? No. This one, yeah, initially on the mouth, it does have that kind of Chinese medicine note. It has a briskness to it, a light punch to it, and astringency and bite to that. As in the aftertaste, you're getting you're getting a little bit of the dark chocolate bitterness. So that if you've eaten a very pure piece of dark chocolate, it does have a bit that bitter bite towards the back. There's some of that there. And what's happening is that bitterness, that bite, is converting into this cooling, and your tongue goes crazy. It doesn't know what to do with all this effect, and so it reacts by producing the sweet feel in your mouth. And that's where you're really trying to get with this tea, is beyond the aroma and initial taste, towards that back, that light plummy that I'm getting, that dark chocolate element that I'm getting in the back, in the aftertaste, combined with that lightly sweet, lightly cooling element of the mouth feel after you have swallowed. And that's what you're going for with a lot of, especially Chinese style teas. So this tea is going to initially put some people off. Those newcomers who are only looking for that chug it, taste it, and that's it. This is a savor. The higher levels of tea, like the teas in a master's collection, are about savoring, and that's where your tea education should be going. Okay, so with the savor aspect of this, could the aromas and taste be a little bit smoother? Yes, I've had pleasant aftertaste with a slightly gentler taste aroma in the initial part, but still Overall, I would give this tea an 89. Good graduation level of showing what an aftertaste and after feel, I guess you could say, should be in a upper higher quality tea. So come back, join us again, and so that you can learn more about tea, so that we can all together graduate on to the next stage of tea, and so that we can tell the tea retailers out there, yes, we are a wide audience. We are people who are looking to move on, not just bloggers, not just the tea tweeter promoter type, but a community of people who are learning about tea together here at Walker Tea Review.